Chapter 10. A Shift in Loyalty. On the night of Aedril's escape from prison, Ectheon lay awake in his wife's bed at Ildor. Cerberus had sent a message to him, urging him to return to Argion as soon as possible, but the prince did not elaborate any further. This troubled Ectheon's mind so much that he found himself unable to sleep, which meant Sarah was getting little rest herself. "I wish Cerberus would have told me why he needs me to return so quickly," Ectheon muttered. "He is probably just anxious to set off in search of Diaxes again," Sarah sighed. "You need to stop worrying. And I do not mean just about this. All this tension is not healthy." "I cannot help it," Ectheon said. "Ever since Father died, I have been a nervous wreck. I have become so paranoid. I have this unexplainable fear that my world is going to fall apart at any moment." "Do not talk like that," Sarah said as she caressed her husband's chest. She could feel the fierce drumming of Ectheon's heart as it raced at its nervous pace. It worried her that his ascension to the throne was distressing him so. "Just relax," she whispered in his ear. "Everything is going to be all right." "Oh, Sarah, my sweet Sarah," he sighed. "I would gladly give up the throne of Teluvia to spend every moment with you. I hate to leave you, especially now that you are only days away from giving birth to our second child." "I will be fine," Sarah insisted. "Teluvia needs its king. It needs you, Ectheon, not a restless and vengeful prince. Teluvia needs a king whose heart resides within its borders, not in the chamber of Alcadia's queen," Ectheon said. "I know you love me, Ectheon," Sarah said, "but I suspect there is more of your heart than you think beneath the boughs of the golden forest. Could you honestly live with yourself if you surrendered the throne and Teluvia suffered because of your decision?" "No, I could not," Ectheon said grimly. "I know you are unhappy, but there are worse fates than yours," Sarah said. "You are torn between being a king and the husband of a queen. You must admit that for many, it would seem an enviable dilemma. Especially when the kingdom's beauty is surpassed only by that of the queen," Ectheon said as his disposition began to brighten. "Now, seeing as how we are in Alcadia, and I am its queen, I command you to cease your worrying and go to sleep," Sarah said with a smile. "As you wish, your majesty," Ectheon said as he kissed the queen goodnight. Despite his worries, Ectheon fell asleep first. Sarah watched him as he slept, noting the fine lines of worry that had begun to lay a permanent claim on his face and the subtle streaks of gray that marked his temples. "Sleep well, my love," she whispered. "Morning brings with it a new day, and for you, more worries, no doubt." The following day, Ectheon and Errol set off for Argion. The king returned to Teluvia, only to find that his greatest fears had been realized. The city of Argion was in political chaos. The halls of the castle resounded with talk of murder and manhunts. "What is this ridiculous rumor I hear about Aedril being in prison for the murder of Lorien?" Ectheon demanded as he stormed into the throne room, where Cerberus was talking with a group of his demon hunters. Errol walked in behind the king. "It is not a rumor," Cerberus insisted. "It is the truth, except that Aedril is no longer in prison. He escaped last night. I was just organizing an expedition to capture him when you arrived." "I cannot believe what I am hearing," Ectheon said in exasperation. "This is madness. Aedril is not some criminal that we should hunt him down." "I assure you, he has acted as such," Cerberus said. "Salacia saw his crimes with her own eyes." "Then Salacia is mistaken," Ectheon said firmly. "Are you calling her a liar?" Cerberus asked angrily. "She has not been well ever since you brought her here," Ectheon remarked. "Perhaps her illness has extended beyond her body and into her mind, confusing her perception." "I have seen no reason to doubt her senses," Cerberus said. "And I have seen no reason to doubt Aedril's honor," Ectheon countered. "There is treachery afoot here, and it is not by Aedril's hand. Errol, I want you to find him and bring him back, not as a criminal, but as the friend he has always been to this kingdom. You have not even considered the evidence against him," Cerberus said bitterly. If he were properly tried, you would soon realize. Realize what? Ectheon cut him off. That the attempt to falsely condemn him was even more extravagant than I had imagined. Eadril is not a murderer, Cerberus. And he will not be treated as such, not as long as I am king. At least send some soldiers with Errol, so that in the event you are wrong, our brother will not face the criminal alone, Cerberus suggested. Errol can take with him anyone of his own choosing, Ectheon said. But they will go with the understanding that they are not hunting a criminal. As Errol readied his horse for the journey, Eberod approached him. I know how close you are to Eadril, the knight said. I know you do not think that he is guilty. I do not think that he is guilty either. In fact, the knight suddenly stopped talking and looked around to see if anyone was watching. He then said, in a low tone, "It was I who freed Eadril from prison. He told me to tell you to meet him in Edgewood." "Did he say anything else?" Errol asked. "No," Eberod replied. He then asked, "Have you given any thought regarding who will accompany you on your journey?" "Actually, I plan to go alone," Errol said. "After all, I am not hunting a criminal." "That is true," Eberod agreed. "But that does not mean that you are guaranteed a safe journey. Someone killed Lorien, and now seeks to bring about the execution of Eadril. These are perilous times, especially for friends of the commander." "Your point is well made," Errol conceded. "Will you join me on my journey?" "Yes, of course," Eberod said.